Hello, my name is Sarthak Maini, and firstly, thank you very much for uh, taking out the time to review my project and review my profile. So, the agenda for today's video is where is my work located, the technical stack I have used, what have I done, the live demo of the project, and where can you find my proof of work. That is the work which I have done in the last 3 years. I have documented it, and I would be sharing the links to that as well. So, firstly, where is my work located? Where is my project located? I would have shared this GitHub link, Sarthak Mani / mini CRM project, where all of my code is there. And along with that, I have also linked the deployment, the front end deployment for the React app which I have made. So let's start with the repository. So in the repository, we have three sections. One is backend, one is front end, and one is Docker Compose. Why do I need Docker Compose? I need Docker Compose because I wanted to implement the publisher subscriber model in the project, and in order to do that, I wanted to use Kafka. Now, the most convenient way for me to use Kafka was to use it in a Docker container. So I just used this Docker Compose file, which consists of two images. One is the Zookeeper image, which helps Kafka run internally. It basically helps Kafka in service management and leader selection, etc. And Kafka is the other image. 2181 is where Zookeeper is exposed, and 9092 is where Kafka is exposed. So this is how I am using my Kafka in my local system. And if we see my code base over here as well, so Docker processes. If we see the Docker processes, then my Zookeeper is running, and my Kaf drop and Kafka etc. are running. So this is my Kafka running in containers. Now let's come to front end. So I have deployed my front end on Netlify, and the link to that would be found in the Google form, and I have linked it here as well in the about section. I would link it in the readme file as well. So let's go to the deployment. This is basically the front end deployment only. So the back end deployment I would be showing later on in this video, but for now I would be covering the front end itself. So what was the thought process of me making this front end? My thought process was that, okay, a customer wants to buy my CRM. So where should he or she be directed first? A landing page. They should go to a landing page. So I decided to make a landing page, and the inspiration of the design to make the landing page was from Go High Level, which is another CRM which is used by social media marketing agencies to basically keep track of their leads and send email campaigns via Twilio, and using payment integrations and analytics, etc. So that's high level. And in this front end, I basically implemented a nav bar first of all. So this is home section, then features, so all the features, then pricing section, what our price of our CRM is going to be, then our FAQ if any customer has doubts, and then the contact us section. In the contact us section, as this is a portfolio project, I just linked my social media profiles and my resume. All of my proof of work in the last 3 years, all of my work can be viewed here. All of my work is here. And I just added a small animation in this project in the contact us section as well. The scrolling is happening via the React Scroll library which I implemented. Now let's go to the login section. The login section consists of two parts. One is a simple form which the user can use, and the other is Google authentication, which was required as per the document. So I just added it in the project. Similarly, I have a register button, and this register button has a form and a Google sign in button in it as well for signing in. I would show all the backend functionality later, but as this is a front-end deployment, I am going through the front-end first. So this was the login and register page, and by this link we can go back to the landing page as well. Now this dashboard UI actually isn't in the main implementation of my project, but as I am implementing a front end, the UI of this dashboard UI section would have come after the user logged in. But as there is no back end in this right now, so there would be no path to view these features, view these UI. So I just created an extra button for the dashboard UI, and let's just go through this. So when the user enters, when the user logins, then they see something like this, and they can create a campaign via this form. So total spends, max visits, last visit, and message, and they can just build a campaign and send it. Similarly, we have an audience form. In this, we basically build an audience which can be used to send campaigns. Now, what was the thought process with this? What is a lead? A lead is a potential customer. So we are dealing with a lot of leads over here, leads or customers, and a collection of these leads specifying a particular criteria such as total spends, yeah, like what were the max visits or what was their last visit, etc. That included as a collection makes an audience, and the message which we are sending the audience is our campaign. So that is my thought process regarding this, how this whole application is working. And then this is our basic front end, and I basically implemented a logout function, so it just logs out of the project. So this was the front end part of the project. I have covered how Kafka is working on my local system and how front end is working. And front end is deployed over here. The repository link is this, and the code is over here. Okay. Now I have already started my servers on my local system. So like npm start over here and npm run dev over here, and I have been running my Kafka containers over here. Now let me show you how the login functionality is working. So I'll go to my front end and I'll go to login. Now let me log in as Sarthak success. This was via my Google account. Now if I just inspect this, if I just inspect this, I am getting the object and I am getting the user token. So basically what is happening here is that to demonstrate this project, I just logged out the token and the user which is being created and found by this user authentication. So this is our JWT token which has been generated, and this is my user ID which was linked to the profile. As we can see, the email is corresponding to the profile by which I logged in over here. And if we go through the database as well, so this is my database. So if we see over here, yeah, this is the email which it was referring to. So it just picked out from the database that okay, we have to log in this person. And another thing to notice here is that I have hashed the passwords. This is because by chance our database gets leaked or hacked, then our users passwords remain secured, because a hash is only a one-way feature. So once we hash a text, we cannot reverse it. So it would be useless for the hacker to get these passwords because these are hashed. So these are the records are being maintained over here. And similarly, let me log in from this form as well. abc@gmail.com. Let me just refresh it. Yeah, abc@gmail.com, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Like this is another email in this. I had put one more email. Yeah, basically it is in it. So success again. If you look at it, a object is given to me, token which was created, and the user which it is referring to. In this case, abc@gmail.com. So this was the login section. Let me register. So okay, I didn't show what would happen if I enter the something like this, like email was verified over here, like this is not. Now what if I give invalid email or password? So basically the email is correct over here. I gave the wrong password and it just showed me the email is wrong or right. Similarly, if I just try to use a random account like ad@gmail.com, like this password, it's the password is wrong, so it's like not letting me in. So this was the Google authentication. Similarly, register. Let me register a new name. So I'll John Zander @gmail.com. Password is, and by the way, password should be 7 characters long. So if I try something like this, password should be 7 characters long. Now let me just enter the password. 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So I just register. So it is now registered. And if I go back to my database, as well. So basically there is a problem in my Mongo Compass that I have to reconnect it and it does not refresh, but that's fine. So John Zander is over here. It's added in my database now as a collection, as a document, and now I can log in using this. So johnzander@gmail.com and 1 2 3 6 7 success, and I have my JWT token over here as well as my user object. So this was the login and registration part. Now let's go on to the more complex part. So me using Kafka and the backend stuff. So let me first introduce my Postman over here. This is the Postman. I have already set up some demo data in this so that I can quickly go through it. So firstly, I have a leads table over here. By the way, all of this is in this code. I am not covering it right now because the video would become too large, but I would happily cover it in the interview process. So for example, I want to create a new lead, and this is my leads database. So I'll just add a new lead over here. That like let's say Naman, and email is naman@example.com, and this I'll just remain as it is. Now if we see the database, we won't see any Naman over here. There is no Naman over here. If we see the name, no Naman is over here. Now when I click the API, lead creation request was sent. Now is the important part. Basically what is happening here is that I am using a producer to send a message. This is the message which is being validated by so this is the consumer of the lead, and this is the producer of the lead. So I am basically producing and consuming messages, and if we see this as well, lead saved naman@example.com. So handle lead and lead saved. So this is basically my consumer which is saving my lead, and my producer via produce message is sending the data to the Kafka client, and that data is being picked up by the consumer which is being displayed over here. So the Kafka, like the producer, is sending a response to me over here that the request is sent, and the consumer is giving me the output over here. I have done a similar thing for the orders API as well. So let me take some random sarthak@gmail.com. So like when we see this, nothing is over here. Order creation request sent. So the producer sent it and order placed. The consumer got and got it and basically told me, okay, the operation has been done. All the consumers are over here, the producer is over here. I would be covering all of this later, but now let's continue with the functionality. So orders I have covered, leads I have covered, campaigns I have to cover. Okay, so let's cover campaigns. Now what if okay, let me just send this. So what is happening over here is, if we see this is also, by the way, linked to Kafka. So this was a batch process. It got sent at once, and all these statuses were updated at once by the consumer, and this data was collected by the producer, did some validation, and then sent it to the Kafka client. Now this is our basically audience JSON, and this is basically the output which is satisfying our audience criteria. So we just sent a campaign via Kafka. So basically our request went to the API. API performed some validation checks. After the validation checks, it said, okay, the data is good, let's send it to the producer. The producer sent it to the Kafka client. Now the Kafka client had some topics and partitions, and according to that, the consumer picked up the data and processed it and showed it to us. So that is the workflow we are following over here for the leads ingestion, for the orders ingestion, for the campaigns API, and so on. So this was some of the functionality I wanted to cover. And let's see, have I left anything? Have I left any functionality which I should be covering? Yeah, so like Kafka, broker, etc. I just added over here, so you can take a look into it. And audience and campaign logic I have also covered. So this is the audience and campaign logic. Models I have made via Mongoose, Node.js. So these are the models. These are the model schemas, and I just told them to create the model, and via the database it connected to it, and the connection was established and the model was created. Now yeah, I think I have covered all the functionality that I wanted to cover. Is there anything left? I have covered this. Yeah, so dummy data, when the campaign was sent, then this data sent, etc. was sent by the dummy data. So yeah, this is the campaign consumer, and this is my creating campaign, and this is the delivery receipt. So yeah, I think I have covered all the features which were required. So yeah, I think this is about it, what I wanted to cover in this project. Other than that, where can you find more proof of work? So I have listed it in my uh, portfolio over here as well. So all my like proof of work can be seen over here, or uh, I'll just link it in my readme as well. So biodrop.sarthak mani, sarthak mani, and you can just get all my links. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching the video, and thank you for taking out the time to like review my progress, etc. Thank you very much.